Welcome back, D-Traders. This week is loaded with the high-impact events such as Jerome Powell's speech, inflation data, and the season of corporate reports. In anticipation of these events, the New York session is going to be hot on Monday. InstaForex analysts will provide you with the clues to ongoing market trends and prospects. Wall Street closed last week with a confident growth. The key stock indexes added more than 20% each, so the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq halted a 4-week losing streak. The Dow Jones climbed 700 points by the closing bell on a Friday. The Nasdaq again was the best performer, having grown 2.56% intraday. The S&P 500 was 2.28% up to close at 3,895 points. The benchmark indexes opened in new trading in the green. The S&P 500 is expected to trade in the intraday corridor between 3,880 and 3,960 points, willing to settle above 3,940 points. Wall Street indexes spiked on Friday following the U.S. non-farm payrolls for December. The Labor Department reported that average hourly earnings rose by 0.3% last month, slightly below the consensus of a 0.4% increase. Besides, the U.S. public and private sectors added 223,000 jobs in December, stronger than the forecast of 200,000 new jobs. On the minus side, the ISM non-manufacturing PMI showed that business activity in the United States services sector shrank for the first time since May 2020. The market drew the conclusion that the weaker-than-expected data might assure the U.S. Fed to moderate the pace of rate hikes earlier than projected. The intraday growth in the S&P and the Nasdaq composite enabled both indexes to close with the weekly gains after a 4-day losing streak. The S&P closed the short trading week with a 1.45% gain. The Nasdaq added 0.98%. The Dow Jones increased by 1.46%. As for separate sectors, all ingredients in the S&P gained ground. The materials and the high-tech sectors logged the largest growth, having jumped by 3.44% and 2.99% respectively. The weakest growth of 0.89% was recorded with the healthcare sector. The retail sector found support from Costco shares as they surged by 7% because the company reported robust sales in December. Pfizer shares rose 2.5% in light of the talks with China. The company negotiated the license issue, which would enable local drug markets to produce and sell non-patented versions of the antiviral drug. Wall Street was encouraged by remarks from Fed's policymakers. They commented on a slowdown in wage growth and other signs of the cooling economy. Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta Raphael Bostic dropped a hint on the scenario of a rate hike by 25 basis points at the nearest meeting. The events of this week will be crucial for predicting further Fed's moves. On a Tuesday, the market will be alert to Powell's keynote speech. The inflation data, which is due on Thursday, will be the key to the puzzle. The annual US CPI is expected to ease its pace of growth to 6.5% in December from a 7.1% increase in November. And the US stock indexes asserted strength but did not overcome resistance. Market optimism remains fragile. The inflation data will serve as a litmus test. All in all, the stock market still needs a fresh impetus to develop a true rally. The stock indexes are trading higher in the pre-market amid the news from China. The second largest global economy reopened its border at the weekend for the first time in 3 years. Beijing expects almost 2 million visits to the country for the Asian Lunar Year, twice as big as last year and 70% more than in 2019. The banking sector might come under pressure. Goldman Sachs is going to fire thousands of jobs starting from Wednesday. JP Morgan and the Bank of America are due to report their corporate earnings for the fourth quarter. Alibaba shares climbed to the highest level in 6 months on Monday. The high-tech giant surged by 9% in light of the news that Jack Ma would set control of China's fintech giant Ant Group. Tesla shares jumped by 3.2% because the company warned of longer delivery for some model version to Chinese buyers. Investors reckon that a recent cut in retail sales could boost demand in China. Other high-tech giants such as Apple, Amazon, Microsoft and Meta traded with gains in the pre-market. The energy sector could provide the most support. The US dollar is turning sour. Its index opened to be the 0.5% decline. The index traded at around 103.20. Its intraday CAD for the New York session is seen between 102.80 and 103.70. The US dollar approached the lowest level in 7 months against its rival currencies. The reason is the latest macroeconomic data, which revived hopes for dovish shifts in the Fed's policy. In the last 3 months of 2022, the greenback printed the heaviest quarterly losses in 12 years. This is because investors are certain that the Fed will hardly raise interest rates above 5%. From the current range of 4.25 and 4.50%. 2 crucial reports posted on Friday pointed to the picture of the healthy labor market on the one hand and revealed signs of a looming recession on the other hand. The US dollar is likely to trade under pressure ahead of the inflation data. Nowadays, market participants are betting on the Fed's rate hike by a quarter of a percentage point in February. Still, the tense labor market is likely to convince the Fed to moderate the pace of rate hikes in the near future. The market will be able to assess the full picture after the inflation data. The US dollar's weakness enabled the Canadian dollar to regain its footing. The USD CAD pair opened today 0.56% lower. It traded at about 1.3365 before the opening bell, and its intraday CAD is in between 1.3290 and 1.3410. The loonie owes its strength to the soft US dollar and rising oil prices propelled by reopening borders in China. Oil gained momentum on a Monday because China reopened its borders, which increased forecasts of a growing energy demand and dampened recession fears. Brent crude appreciated by 2.8% to trade at $81 a barrel, and WTI climbed by 3.2%. Last week, both benchmark rates slumped by more than 8%, the sharpest weekly loss since 2016. A revival of the risk-on mood benefited the crypto market, and Bitcoin eventually escaped from the right range between $16,600 and $16,800. The token settled above $17,000, having opened with a 1.7% gain. The crypto is trading at about $17,200. Altcoins opened the week in the green in a parallel to the flagship crypto. Analysts foresee a good day for digital assets. Bitcoin is likely to halt in the corridor between 16,900 and 17,500 today. Our team wishes you profitable trading, whatever trend is unfolding. See you on InstaForex TV channel.